Hello and welcome to The People's Lens, the show where we look at society through the eyes of the people. I'm Jesse Rogers, and today we're coming to you from the Kenya Institute of Mass Communication, the home of future storytellers, journalists, and media innovators. And by the way, the Kenya Institute of Mass Communication was opened by the late President Daniel Arap Moi back in February 1986. So about 40 years thereabout in the media industry, training young minds to become future journalists. And today's focus, media and society. The role, responsibility of the media in shaping public opinion. Are journalists true gatekeepers of truth and accountability? Or are they simply chasing viral moments, likes, and retweets? Let's find out right here on The People's Lens. Well, as highlighted earlier, we're here at the Kenya Institute of Mass Communication with some witty students who will get to interact with on today's topic, all to do with the role of media in shaping public opinion. Is the media simply a watchdog in today's world, or are they trend setters? That's part of the conversation we'll be having here with these journalism students. Looking forward to see you in the industry in the near future. But asanteni sana for your time. And perhaps we can start with open-ended questions. If you compare 10 years ago and right now, how many of you would say the role of the media is still as sacrosanct as it was before? Ati hao ndo watchdog. Hao ndo ukisikia kwa media unajua hiyo ni ukweli. There's social media right now. How many of you still believe that if I watch a news anchor, I'll believe him compared to a trendsetter, compared to someone on social media? Watu wa mainstream media? Oh my gosh, okay, I should even put my hand down. So most of you believe what you see online. What's your take on the media being a watchdog in this current day and age with the upset of social media, with news anchors on social media as well? Do you even have time to watch news? What's your take on the role of the media as a watchdog?
The mainstream medias have turned out to be the traditional medias because there is the rise of the social media, the internet, and let me call it the all-in-one. Back in the days when something would happen, tulikuwa tunategea tuione kwa news ama kwa station fulani pale chini wameandika breaking news. But sahi before hata ifike pale ishanipata kwa X, like unapata on X ka notification chap msee ametuma, unaget and sahi tunatend to believe the social media cause simona wase wengi hatujainua mkono hapa. Why mbona tuna believe? Cause the news makers, like let's say hii news inaniguza mimi, an example something kama on my docket as Gabu, let's say mini minister of finance kwa hii country. So if nimepost kitu about finance, awa sawa watani believe sana kuliko vile a journalist atapost something about finance. Cause mimi ndo niko pale. So Gabu ni CS wa finance amepost amesema kitu fulani, wewe unataka kutuambia kitu fulani, wewe nani? Plus sahi time, hatuna time ya kukaa chini kuwatch news. Hakuna time ya kukaa chini kuwatch ati una watch kipindi. It's like those were back in the days wakati simu hazikuwa zimefika. Sahi simu ziko cheap, sahi internet iko cheap. Wewe unaingia tu unapata news pale. So I can say ile the role of a watchdog imepungua kwa sababu sahi wase wanajaribu pia kuchase clicks. So mimi ndapost tu kitu fulani ndio ni chase clips. Mbona wase our believe journalists sahi pia most of the big media houses ziko sponsored na au ma big fish hapo nje.
Hao wagani hao?
Like unapata the big people who owns the big companies, like unapata mini CEO niko na kitu inaitwa Gabu PLC. Mimi napeanaga certain services.
Okay.
I make millions with my company. So nikikam nikupe advert, do yangu inakubamba. Like nakupea 5 million a month. Hiyo do inasukuma sana inasukuma sana hiyo media house yako. So wakati ndakuwa kwa ngori utacheza chini. Why? Kwa sababu mimi nakupeanga do.
When it comes to making money, mainstream media such as the Standard Group, which has a 360-degree platform, gets its revenue through advertising revenue, sponsorships and partnerships, content production and commercial services, digital revenue, subscription and syndication, events and experiential activations, political and public interest advertising, classifieds and announcements, newspaper and print sales.
Unakumbuka ile saying, he who pays the piper controls the tune. So ukienda kwa hizi mainstream media houses, the commercial interests supersede the editorial interests. Is that what you believe? And then at the end of the day, una-authenticate aje news umeona social media kama ni ukweli? Because hata mimi naweza kuwa journalist na nimeona accident imefanyika pale, and to make it spicy for the chase of clicks, for the chase of retweets, niseme someone is dead while they were not. Ama niseme someone is really hurt while it was something really small, just for the sake of getting the interactions. How do you differentiate?
Ukiangalia social media utaonyeshwa waziwazi, lakini kama journalist then kama tunaruhusiwa kuonyesha hiyo waziwazi, kwa sababu sio kila mtu mwenye anaangalia yuko sawa, labda tuseme health wise, mentally. Labda wewe umekaa tu hivi unaangalia news alafu unaona mtoto wako mwenye bado hajafika nyumbani ameshutiwa hapo hadharani. Ndio social media itafanya hivyo, lakini journalist hatafanya hivyo, si eti kwa sababu hataki kusema ukweli, ni kwa sababu anajaribu kuprotect watu wengine, anajaribu kuprotect watu kama familia. So mimi nadhani tu bado wana act kama watchdogs kwa upande wangu, kwa sababu tena ukiangalia sio media zote, lakini kuna wale ambao expose corruption. Utaona kabisa ukiangalia ni askari mkubwa labda barabarani, na utaona tu ametolewa hadharani vile ambavyo alipokea hongo. Kwanza siku hizi naonaga ina happen mara kwa mara. Kwa hivyo mimi nitasema bado tu media wanajaribu. The fact that yes, kuna kuaga na labda hizi stories za utalipwa usifanye kitu fulani, labda iko, lakini kulingana vile sisi tunafunzwa kama wanafunza journalism, sisi tunataka kuamini, personally nataka kuamini bado haiko. Kwa sababu unaambiwa usipokee, manake unafaa news zako zinafaa kuwa fair. Na unafaa kueleza watu ukweli.
So in terms of breaking news, do you think, what do people want to see? Perhaps as a viewer, perhaps as a journalist as well. Watu wanataka kuona nini? Ni the facts of the story, ama ni ile mbwembwe ya haya, huyu amepass on, haya, huyu amefutwa, haya, this is what's happened. What exactly do people want to see when it comes to issues like breaking news? Is it facts fast bado, ama bora history imetrend? That's it.
The stories that make breaking news include major national emergencies, high-level political events, major crime or security incidents, court rulings of national importance, big economic disruptions, transport and infrastructure crisis, major international events affecting Kenya, viral or socially explosive incidents.
Hapo kwa breaking news, okay, yes, kuna online, kuna news zimenifikia before. Okay, let's use for example when the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga passed, it wasn't actually told in news. Ungepata ilikuwa online, mimi nilikuwa nishapata news, nilikuwa class, nilipata.
Na uli-authenticate aje?
Nilienda online.
Ulienda online?
Nika Google, and then najua Wikipedia, there is Wikipedia, so inakuanga ina change.
Yeah.
So ikachange ikakuwa was. So hapo ndio nilijua tu amepass on. Na ikafika at some point watu washa confirm, and ndio ikaenda kwa news bulletin, which siku focus na news bulletin. Sasa nilikuwa naangalia facts juu ilikuwa imesemekana he passed before when there was security at the funeral home. So watu walikuwa nauliza kama alikuwa amepass on kitambo ama ni yes. Yeah.
So how do you authenticate? Unaendaga kwa mainstream media kwa sites zao unasema kama wamepost basi ni ukweli. How do you know?
Okay, for me I didn't go to the sikuenda to the news channels or whatever.
Yes.
Me went online, like una search online utakuwa umesikia story mob, and then there's people speaking, but kuna some point tutaenda tu tuseme Citizen, KTN, uangalie tu kwa page yao wa clarify, but una notice online wanaelezea more, so utapata more information than me kwenda Citizen or KTN.
So talk to us about how some of these media houses, from your point of view, can embrace social media and use it not just as a disruptor, but equally to enhance news coverage and breaking down information for the masses.
Social media imekuja ikasaidia, imesaidia and pia disrupt a lot of, imefanya media houses zikaonekana ni kama hazifanyi kazi. Let me put it that way, because the moment news ikitokea mahali, obvious place ya kwanza yenye unaweza ona ni social media. So in a way social media imekuja disrupt the work of the media houses, but also media houses zinaweza saidia, zinaweza work na social media platforms to also to be passing their news to, because unaona kama sasa the issue of, let me use the former prime minister Raila, after he had passed on, watu walikuwa wanasema alikufa kitambo. That is what it was going. Sasa we were not sure it's alikufa kitambo ama ndo amekufa recent. So mimi hata venye ilitoka sikushtuka. I was like, hii story imekuwa like na ni social media platform ndo zimekuwa zikinani, because social media most of the people that wana control are just the normal people, sisi tu wananchi wa kawaida. But now you see when he died, uko unajua nani kubelieve. Me, I didn't trust, but I went to the media platforms na nika confirm, like nilikuwa naamini na sikuwa naamini, like uko tu hapo ujui nani kutrust na nani kutotrust. So the media houses can also work through the social media platforms to enhance how they are going to pass their news. They can work with them, they can work with the normal wananchi. Maybe tuseme mimi niko place kama Kwale and I want news iende faster, so they can use me, like they should not focus on only the reporters wenye wanawategemea. Mimi wakuwe na platform kama mwananchi wa kawaida, niko Kwale, so like kitu iki happen wananiambia Kadzo, kuna like mimi sasa ndo nitakuwa na inform kuna kitu ime happen and it's true, nimeconfirm ni ukweli, kwa hivyo air it on air, hiyo iko sawa, rather than tunangoja miaka 10 na news hailetwi. Sasa mimi huko already nishaona kuna accident imefanyika. Mbona mimi nisikuje niwaambie watu wa KTN kuna news imehappen hapa, itakuwa more faster na views like place kama platforms kama TikTok, Instagram, hizo ndio platforms za haraka news kuspread. So nikikuwa huko nawaambia there is something that has happened na it's true, nimeconfirm it's true, na hiyo news inaenda na inafikia wananchi mbio.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You guys are journalism students. I'd like your take on influencers, trendsetters getting the chance to practice as journalists. Kuna watu wanasema hawa sio wanakuja kuchukua job zetu kama watu tumesomea journalism. I don't know what your take is, because at times hizi media houses zinaangalia umse akona pull, akona following. Tukimleta hao followers wake wataanza kufuata hii show ama hii radio show ama hii TV show. How do you feel about that? Ama hiyo ndo reality ya life, it's a competitive environment. To the dues you give the best.
First of all, this is a competitive world. It is. In every organization, it is competitive. So, in as much as sisi, kama journalist, tunaweza kwa, we are really studying, kufanya kila kitu in our course and everything, to be a news anchor, to be a good producer, to be all that entails. But tutapata, in the long run, they will get somebody who has a higher following on Instagram or on TikTok or anywhere else.
But why don't doctors do that? Engineers. Kwa nini ni journalism? Unajiulizaga hiyo swali?
Okay, actually, it's true what you're saying. Initially, before utapata, most people before they get into the journalism course, wanaambiwa, hapo utapata kazi kweli? Hapo utaweza?
Unaambiwa hivyo? Yeah. Makosa.
Hapo utaweza kweli? But sasa, because of the passion that we have, tunaamini, in as much as it's competitive, we'll still make it, you know. The influencers wako, it's true, they'll get hired, they'll get the first priority and everything, but what can we do about it? We just have to tujiaminie tu pia sisi. Yeah.
Okay, una agree, bro?
Before I get back to your question, allow me to not to correct, but to criticize a friend of mine here. This guy said that most of us, we don't have time for watching news. I believe in this world that we are living, or rather in this generation that we are, everyone is entitled to his or her own opinion, right? Personally, me, I watch news every day. Kila siku. Every day. The prime news, 7 p.m., 9 p.m. So there's no way you can tell me that we don't have time to watch the main bulletin. No, it depends with you and your perspective on what you are watching.
Why do you watch? To be informed? Are you trying to be in that space? No matter what watch. What's your driving force?
I believe the role of the media is to inform, to educate. So as much as I'm a journalist, I get information. I'm also educated. The information I get, the education I get, I believe I will share it to the entire world since I'm a journalist. So that gives me...
Social media.
I don't believe in social media. You know, social media, these people are trend chasers. They go for clicks, for likes, for comments, unlike the mainstream media, whereby these people give factual information. Personally, when I get a breaking news, I don't go to social media. I go to the mainstream, that's maybe KTN News, whereby I confirm. They talked of the story of the late Raila Odinga.
True.
Personally, I found a notification, but for me to confirm that it's true, I went to the mainstream. Kwenda kwa mainstream, there was nothing like that, so I did not believe.
Okay.
So once it came as a breaking news, I knew then that actually this is the news. The same scenario happened. There was rumors everywhere in social media that the current president of Uganda, that is, he has passed on.
Yeah.
That was social media. I had to confirm in the mainstream. Actually, my colleagues called me telling me that Yoweri Museveni has passed on. I had to confirm in the mainstream, and there was nothing like that. And I told him those are rumors, those are bloggers. So personally, I believe in the mainstream media as a source of information.
So you believe the pressure of likes, views has compromised journalistic integrity,
100%.
especially on social media?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I believe in the recent past,
Yeah.
when social media was not at the peak as it is right now, that was now the media we were to experience now. But social media has come with some negativities in such a way that integrity has been highly practiced, so that people tend to believe social media than the mainstream media, which is not the case.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's proper. Now, briefly, your story, influencers taking jobs since they have following. As a journalism student, what do you feel about that?
As a journalist,
Yes.
I believe journalism is like any other course, like medicine, engineering. So professionalism is required. You cannot take msanii pale mtaani unamleta kwa media because akona followers. No, we need experience. We are learned people in this generation. We don't need people who are influencers out there. Yes, they have followers. They can increase the followers of the station. But at the same time, we need people who are learned in the society.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then perhaps tell me, can a journalist still go viral while maintaining their ethical standards?
I still believe there is space, kuna space ya integrity, kulingana na place, what the values you've been brought up with. Because I believe when you were getting into the journalism field, you knew what you wanted. You knew that your purpose ilikuwa kukuja kusaidia wasee kujua kitu inafanyika. But at one point I've observed that some, because of pressure ya job, because of kutakaka kitu kadogo, and maybe the working environment in the places wanafanya kazi, at one point they would succumb to the pressures of, let me compromise what I'm giving out for the sake of getting likes, because in the society tumenormalize that msi mwenye anaongea ukweli is the bigger enemy to the people, rather than observe the social media influencers, the people tend to believe these guys more. Why? Because of the liking, or hii stuff ya umsi ako na aura fulani neza muamini. So I believe at one point, if the journalist has the integrity to still tell the truth, I believe at the end of the day we need the truth. At the end of the day we need credibility of what is happening in our society before killing the role of the journalist being a watchdog. Yes.
Okay, and you know the way they say with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
So with the experience you have in class and in your day-to-day activities, what's that one line, that ethical line that journalists should never cross? Hii akipita, mazee huyu si journalist tena, amechukua interest zingine akaleta kwa kazi, hatuwezi muamini. What's that one thing that is a no-go zone for you, especially for a journalist?
From my opinion
Yes,
and from
of
my
course.
lens, I believe that the truth should always stand
Okay.
at all times, kwa sababu itafika mahali the same people wenye wana glorify ukifanya kitu maybe for the trend, at one point si ndio watakugeuka. If you don't uphold the value of having integrity and the truth, chances are your credibility even in the years to come will fade.
Okay.
Kwa sababu huku unaongea ukweli. Yes, you are chasing the trend, but target audience huenda ikichange with time and with yes.
Okay. Do you believe these journalists who are in the space right now, mainstream media, can hold power to account? Ama saa zingine ni swali za PR, kutuliza huyo bosi. Kuna mtu pale alisema, commercial ikiletwa na tuseme KIMC, sisi tutasema, KIMC ati wamefanya kitu mbaya. Maybe, wacha tusiwachome. But that's not the way it's supposed to be. So talk to us about the question I've just raised there.
Personally, I believe when it comes to this people on mainstream, personally, it's all about what people want to know. Yeah. And naona ni important sana by the way that we have journalists, because they come through like to expound certain like topics yenye what wananchi most people hawajui. And I believe like this mainstream guys, although anatu outtake, but I believe like the professionalism we learn here and the right way we take things seriously, and it's important actually. I think personally wanaulizanga maswali zinafaa. Yeah.
Na kwa nini watu watch podcast basi?
Okay, watu wa podcast by the najua mko hapa. But I'm going to say like with podcast,
Yeah.
I think it comes from news that personally journalists wame expound a bit. So when it comes kwa podcast, they tend to unajua wanaongeza hiyo chumvi and what they think about everything. But I think it's very important that we take first what is important sana kwa hizi news programs, because they tend to be accurate, yeah. And wetu wengine, I know it's all because of the following and nothing more, yeah. And they're also journalists in the mainstream field, and I believe they all have a take. I think everything is true, but personally it's very important for these mainstream guys to take time and learn this important ethics that we tend to take here and we take years to learn. It doesn't come like hivo tu. Yeah.
Between your favorite media personality, maybe kuna ule unaonaga kwa news unasema msee anaongeaga fiti, ana communicate na feel anishauti, ananiongelesha vizuri, ana communicate poa. Compare that, your favorite news personality in mainstream media and your favorite personality on social media. Mwenye break down news, maybe for one. Umesikia rada nini, you know. So who do you rate highly and why? Who do you believe and why?
Before ni answer that, acha kwanza nipinge my friend here kidogo.
Of course.
So for me, I feel like ulikuwa umeuliza kama wenye wana interview maybe president, wana interview what tunataka Okay, let me say this. I feel like huwa wanaogopa. Juu ukiangalia podcast, zile vitu zinasemwa hapo, si kitu president anazoulizwa hivi na ajibu. Honestly. Na pia
But ujue kwa podcast, ukiwa host unaweza sema your opinion.
Okay.
Ukiwa pale mainstream media unauliza president swali, hawezi sema me I think you're doing it wrong. Unamwambia Kenyans are saying this and this and this. So unaona maybe kwa podcast mtu anapea opinion yake na inaongeza kachumvi kiasi.
Okay. I feel like as much as wanauliza, okay, ndo itufikie, haifiki venye ilifanywa kwa field. Haifiki like ikiwa tuseme wameuza story na corruption and stuff. Sidhani hivyo ndo sisi tutaipokea. Maybe watafanya tu mimi sijui, but maybe I feel like hawaulizi kitu tunataka,
Hawaulizi.
hawaulizi. I feel
Okay.
like wanaogopa.
Okay.
And now to the question yenye umeniuliza. Okay, mi wasi watch news.
So niko na jibu already.
Yeah, uko na jibu.
Yeah.
The last time niliwatch news ilikuwa after form 4. Ndo nijue wenye wameongoza and stuff. But sahi I don't watch news.
Why, ni personal choice ama ni ile space unajipata kwa classes?
Yeah, tuseme tu ni space.
Okay.
But nikipata chance,
Yeah.
I can.
So ukiendaga home no hata watch news?
Hatuwatchingi. Sisi wote hatuwatch.
Okay.
Maybe tunafuata tu online.
Yeah.
Tunakaa tu updated.
So and then unaamini hawa si wa online aje? Just briefly, because hao walisema saa zingine wanaenda ku-authenticate kwa mainstream media, wengine anasema ataangalia aone anadeduct.
Okay, first of all ndo tupate news kwa TV ama kwa mainstream.
Yeah.
Zishatoka kwa like X tushapata information.
Yeah,
So
okay.
nikienda X nimepata news, I'm satisfied.
Uko sawa.
Niko satisfied.
So gazeti hata nisikuulize siku ile ulisa.
Usijaribu.
So wewe ukitoka hapo unataka kufanya nini? Utaenda kwa hizi mainstream media kuandikwa ama what's your goal?
Okay, mimi I'm more of technical person.
Technical,
so nitakuwa behind the camera.
the scenes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
The main reason people are shifting from mainstream media to social media is control and convenience. Here's what the control and convenience includes: instant access, people get news as it happens, personalized feeds, algorithms deliver what each person cares about, multiple voices instead of one gatekeeper. Ordinary people now break news before TV stations do. Interactive, not one way. Social media users can comment, share, ask questions, and engage with the story. Mobile first consumption. Phones are the primary source of information for the youth.
While you're watching The People's Lens, we take a short commercial break right now. But as we come back, we'll continue with the conversation right here with these sharp minds at the Kenya Institute of Mass Communication, all to do with the role of media in shaping public opinion. Are they the trendsetters? Are they the gatekeepers? What exactly is happening with the changes in the 21st century, especially in the media landscape? Stay tuned. You're watching The People's Lens. We'll be back in a few. Welcome back to The People's Lens. Always a pleasure to have you with us. Remember, this show is all about highlighting your take as we interact with you in your hood and in various institutions. This time round, as highlighted earlier, we're coming to you from the Kenya Institute of Mass Communication, all to do with a topic that is very close to these journalism students who are right here at KIMC. We're evaluating the role of the media in the current day and age. Are they the gatekeepers of truth, or with the changes of social media, they're simply trendsetters? Have they been reduced to that? Well, that conversation continues right here on The People's Lens. Let's continue. Does media shape values?
Before nikujibu, acha nipinge mwenzangu.
Hey, nani huyo?
That guy. Alisema mbona tupati time ya kuwatch news. Right now ukiingia like ufungue TV, news inaendelea saa 5, si ndio? Then later on kutakuja saa 7, then saa 10. Sina hiyo time, sina TV hapa. But the moment nitafungua Instagram, napata maybe Mpasho ama NGC imepost kitu fulani. Sasa nimepata at first and haraka. By the time anaenda pale mesa kae chini, angoje, aanze kufungulia TV, already nishapata whatever I want to see. Hata akikuja kuniletea mshene hii kitu imehappen, namwambia niliona asubuhi hata before waamke. You see?
Na nikimtetea kiasi, unajua hata hizi mainstream media ziko na page zao. So si lazima tuende Mpasho, unaweza enda KTN ama Standard, unaangalia kama ni ukweli. Kwa nini unachagua Mpasho kwanza?
Like for him alisema
Yeah.
anaangalia
Ana watch
saa 1 saa 3.
Pata, yeah.
So nilikuwa neka according to your perspective.
Okay.
And then to answer hiyo question yako kama media inaleta value. No. Sababu like kitambo ulikuwa unajua certain programs zinakuja at this time and time, and then hiyo time ya kitambo when you were kids it was a bit ethical. Ingefika saa 3 saa 2 unaambiwa kwa bed, but for now siku hizi unapata mmekana your fellow nephews ama niece, and then maybe ni saa 10 hivi, and then there's a show running na maybe people are dressed, let me say in quotes a show, and then there is this small kid. Unapata maybe mmekaa kwa nyumba mne relax, unasikia anaimba wimbo, unajiuliza how did it, alijua je hiyo certain thing. Sasa unapata ukienda ku research the kind of things zinakuja kwa TV at certain time, si vile zilikuwa like kitambo ziko regulated. Unapata vitu zingine zinakuja and there are small people zina erode some type of morals in people.
Do you agree with what has been said before? Matters to do with media as a watchdog, matters to do with ethics, matters to do with the social media on one side versus mainstream media on the other. Talk to us briefly.
We all agree to disagree, yeah? So to begin with, there is this quote I saw. When everything is breaking news, nothing really breaks through, yeah? Okay. So when you go online, everything, saizi, the trend chasers, breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. So for me, personally, they said mnapata news X on social media. Assuming I'm having this phone, yeah? Because, yeah, this is the phone I'm using right now. I cannot access X. So it's either I wait for mainstream or nisikize story kwa nyinyi wengine. Ama ni aje? Yeah, stories za jaba. Na nikiangalia kwa mainstream, as much as right now, let's not kid ourselves. It's compared to current social media, or rather current news broadcast and traditional, there were more, back then there were more of gatekeepers. For news to air, it's an editor and the journalist mwenye ameenda kwa field ndio anasema, is this newsworthy? Is this, does this qualify to meet the public eye? But right now, leta hiyo kitu, leta, let's, you know. And what you asked previously, yeah, if the media has an impact on the public, I believe so. Because assuming the media is focusing on a particular subject, that is what everything is going to revolve around, and that is what the public is going to eye. Let's say, tuseme, Kenya Mas, kuna a student mwenye ameenda majuu, amefanya some really mad technology thing, and every news broadcast is broadcasting that particular thing. The public will start talking about it. Yeah. So the attention ita focus kwa this person.
So bado wana set agenda.
Yes.
Kuzata kuna time hao ma trendsetter wanapika. Yes. Kenya iko kwa news wanaitumia kama content. Yeah.
Yeah, because right now it's more of which post gets the most clicks. Yeah. As saizi tunajua, because you know kwanza saizi with the evolvement of the digital sector, the AI, saizi we have something, this AI called, is it Sora? This can literally generate a video wanani kama any true story. And for people who follow mainstream social media X, mimi nikiona hii, assuming I'm one of those people, nikiona hii, my friend nitaamini.
Na umeona ni sura yake.
Nimeona ni sura yake. Umsa amesema hivi, let's say
deep fake wongo.
So with the evolvement of AI, we're not really sure what to believe, what not to believe. And with how things are going, yeah, I believe we're losing the authenticity.
There's this common narrative that news is at times so negative. Una watch news, story 1, huyo amekufa, story 2, this accident, story 3, pesa imeibiwa, story 4, depression inapanda, you know. So, and I'm pretty sure as a journalism student you've had this, that if, how do I put this? If a child kills a dog, it's not news. If a dog kills a child, then that's news. We go for the negative. That makes news, you know. So is this a thing we should put in the past? Ndo tuweze attract new masses to follow news as well, news bulletins, to watch mainstream media. The fact that it's at times too negative, we should equally highlight the positives in society. What's your take on that?
At times news is negative, but at times news inakuanga negative, So my take ni hiyo ikwe past. Understand? Isikwe tukifungua leo, nikiamua leo na angalia news, tunaanza na breaking news, like mtu amekufa, whatever, an accident has occurred, like at least tuweke vitu like ziko positive zenye hadi mtu hii akikuja kuwatch ana like mweke hadi kitu moja enye iko interesting enye inabamba, una understand, enye majenzi wanapenda kuwatch. So like at least make up a story, I don't know, but
saka ni ukweli tufanyaje kama mtu amepass na kazi yetu ni kuconvey information, tuanze na ile mzuri tuweke hizi mbaya mwisho, how, cause it's news at the end of the day.
Mwanze na mzuri, because if mi nikifungua TV nianze kuona kitu poa, like I'll follow up, you understand, because me was okay, I don't watch news, so yeah, sisi ni wale watu wa kufuata vitu za X, Instagram, so like una understand uko wana spice things, you get, so usianze na news breaking, at least anza na kitu inabamba, then ndo mtulete hizo vitu zingine.
In your take, au wenye wana watchdog media, are they doing their role vizuri venye inafaa? And as you answer that, what kind of journalists do we need today? Because umati imechange. Watu si wale wanangojea, haya, niko hapa na hapa, this is what's happening. At times we need people who are in tune with the times zenye tuko sahi. What kind of journalists do we need today?
I think mostly it goes back to time ya editing, time ya news and all that. Sometimes wanamwanga tuchague hii, tuachane na hii, depending on how people want it. And kitu yenye watu wanasahau ni everyone watches the news. Like we are different age groups. There are millennials, kuna wenye tuko na wazazi wazee and all that. Their interest is more on politics. Unapata wengine interest zao ni more on I want to know the growth of agriculture, what. And I think the type of journalist people want is the one who is interested in what is happening right now. People want to know what is more enticing, what is more entertaining to them, what they want to, okay, how do I say this? I guess that's why there are different types of journalists. Kuna mwenye anaweza decide amechagua part moja peke yake ya ku present news, ana focus na hiyo part, yes. So ni ile yenye sasa mtu akitafuta news yenye unataka kusikia ndo unaendea journalist wako. So I think in the media platform every journalist should like be specific on their own type of topics. In case kama nataka kusikia sports, naenda kwa mwenye najua na presenting sports. Kama nataka kusikia agriculture, that music, kuna wake, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
How is your training at college level preparing you for the job market? Being trained for the future in media, ama concept bado iko slow compared to how the media landscape is changing? Well, what's your analysis of the training you're getting?
How KIMC is helping me, for the matter of fact, like this will guide me, the KIMC will guide me in the ethics of how I'm going to deal with in the industry. But we can't hide the fact that the media, we can see everything. And when we see everything, like we can see this journalist is doing this and this. So at some point, I won't stick to what I've been told. Some point I'll sit down and ask myself, why this journalist, like mtu alienda shule, mbona anafanya some kind of things? Juu sasa wezi niambia, a full journalist is made to stick, like that's why journalists and the media are independent, sindio? If they are independent, why lean on one side, or why do something for the benefit of the other? So najiuliza aje, okay, I'm doing the journalist here, nini. How will I go to deal with such kind of things? Is something we can't hide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Na stories saa zingine, I don't know if you watch news, in case you do, hizi story ukwaga one-sided. Unaona venye mnafundisha kwa class, you get both sides of the story. Si tu kuuliza uliumizwaje, you equally talk to the accused, unampe chance of reply. Kama kuongea ama kuwa nataka, unaiweka kwa story, unasema we reached out, unfortunately by the time we're going on air they weren't able to speak to us. So hizi stories zinakuwaga balanced we venye unaonaga. Are we sticking to the training that we got as journalists while in college and campuses?
To some point, we do stick depending on whom are you reporting to and which kind of news you are giving to us. You can't tell me like, obvious with the big people, those phones they will never be reached for sure. Some of them you will never reach them, and like when you are dealing with the local information, you will get the right one. And you can't tell me like whatever is being reported, there is a eyewitness there. So like that eyewitness will assure you like in his mind will be his or her mind will be saying this I've seen here is not what happened. So to some extent it depends on which news are you reporting.
So what different stories would you want to be seen, highlighted? If it is matters to do with fighting corruption, how should we do it? Yeah.
My name is James Muinti, a first year student pursuing diploma in journalism. And before I get to your question, I would like to support what Emmanuel Juma has said. Emmanuel Juma. Juma has said about, for me to believe that something has happened, I'll have to go to the mainstream media. Okay, it's true. It's true. You will see the news, breaking news in online media sources. Utazipata huko. But are they reliable? Are they reliable? So for me to believe that, I'll go to the mainstream media. That is, nitaenda pale KTN, nitaenda pale Citizen, cause I know they have authenticated what they say, and their credibility is somehow top notch. So kwa mimi niamini, okay, hii imefanyika, nitaenda pale, itabidi kwanza ningoje, hata kama nitagoja kwa muda, nitasubiri sana ndo wa publish. So before Citizen, KTN, NTV, BBC, before I publish or broadcast their news, they'll have authenticated, watakuwa wameangalia the sources, are they reliable, hii ni kitu ya kweli, hii ni kitu ya uongo, and then watatupea kitu chenye watajua, if they give it, hawatakuwa na ile kesi ya, okay, muli publish kitu cha uongo, so that's a defamation case, true? So I believe I support what Juma has said. Big up, bro. So to your answer, sijui niseme nini. I'll first start with what Gabu, I think that guy there, alikuja akasema 10 years ago unge believe that media acting as watchdogs walikuwa nafanya kazi mzuri. It's true, they did, and nowadays they do. Ni ile tu, for now I believe ile brown envelope inatambaa sana. What am I saying with brown envelope? With brown envelope, unapata mimi niko na ile, mimi kama James Muindi, I'm a superior person, I'm a prominent person, na niko na kakitu. So naenda natafuta ile media iko pale, let me say Muindi Media. So with Muindi Media, wako tu pale, naanza kuambia, na wapea hii kitu, ndo wasipublish a story that will defile my name. Yenye itachafua jina yangu. So brown envelope bado inatambaa sana. And I'm sorry to say that. Kama nimekosa ni sawa. So kitu kingine for media, I think the media, like, they should act as watchdogs for now. Nile tu, let's stay with our media ethics and codes. If we stick on them, I think we'll do our work, we'll do our job. They'll do, not we will do, they'll do.
Tanzania recently held elections na internet ilifungwa. I'm trying to picture a similar scenario happening in Kenya where internet is shut down, which is next to impossible, of course, because we know our rights, Indio. So in case that happens, would the value of media, mainstream media, actually double, triple from where you sit? And then, history ya kufungiwa TV stations. I don't know if you guys saw this, but while covering protests, some media houses, including KTN, were targeted. Wanasema, tunaweza funga cause of 1, 2, 3. So, as a watchdog over the media, kufunga station kweli, does it make sense to you? Juu wanaonyesha kitu inafanyika, and they haven't broken any ethical rules or anything of the like, yeah.
There is a value called objectivity. And I feel like that value has been compromised over years. now that media acts as a gatekeeping, and also there is this aspect of media and trend chasing. I feel like the aspect of gatekeeping right now, it is being compromised when you look in the perspective, or rather from the angle, that right now there are some media houses that actually don't want to do things in a certain way. And in this case, you find out that in such cases, most media houses, they are actually doing biased reporting. And by doing biased reporting, you find out that there are some things they can't actually bring it to the limelight, simply because the media, or rather the organizations actually that are maybe partnering with them, doing partnership with them, you find out that, there is a saying that says that you don't bite the hand that actually feeds you. And also, when you look in the aspect that maybe when the lion is actually the baba in the village, you find it is hard for a goat to go and have a haircut. So in this aspect, you'll find out that such organizations, or rather these advertising companies that want their commercial to be played in the media houses, they won't actually go to them, or rather they won't, when there is a crisis or a scandal that is actually being portrayed or put out there, you will find that it will be hard for the media houses to speak out, or rather to bring the bad thing, the bad side to the limelight. And with that, I feel like that most values, they are being compromised much, and that media, kinda in a certain way, not all values are being put into place. So in such a thing that you've said about Tanzania, well, I would say that Kenya, we are actually in a good place, bearing in mind that we have a constitution, 2010 constitution. And in this constitution, you'll find out that there is Article 31, 32, 33, and 34 that actually talks about the expression of, the freedom of the media, yeah. So the freedom of the media, you'll find out that it is hard. It is hard for a state like Kenya to actually go in that direction, simply because we have a constitution that protects us.
The Constitution of Kenya guarantees media freedom, independence from government control, protection of journalists, right to information, regulation by independent bodies, not politicians.
From your point of view, how should the media adapt to the current trends? Because tumesema venye social media is definitely a disruptor. Wengine bado wana believe mainstream media, but at the end of the day, this is the 21st century. We can't go back to the days where, news was the only truth-saying, segment. So talk to us about, as a journalism student, unaonaje venye wana pick up these trends, how should they adapt to the masses? Because nyindo the future, ama the current future, So how should they bring in your aspects in order to see lose viewers? Watu wa watch news, wafuatilie, be it on social media, be it on mainstream media. Give us your take.
Before I answer that question, I would like to add on what some of the previous speakers have said. So the first thing, we definitely do have time to watch news. But the thing is, many Gen Zs will choose rather not to watch news because nezenda kwa online, niende kwa page kama Nairobi Gossip hapo Instagram for example, nipate ka news, alafu maybe utapata asubuhi, utapata hiyo kitu asubuhi, and maybe your news ingekuja saa 3 usiku. So if I've already gotten the information, what's the need of me going to watch news? And then the other thing, sisi the young generation, utapata our attention span yetu imepungua. So maybe utapata wase hawana hiyo patience ya ku endure like 10 minutes to watch news. So me, I would say the media, they should continue embracing online content. They should do more of it. They post their content online instead of just depending on the media stations. And probably I would say they just give the viewers what the information that they want.
A lot has been said, and definitely I'd love another round of questions, but I know you guys are busy going to classes and what. You're not busy, you're free. But there's always a next time. So we'll come back and have this conversation, maybe on a different topic, but we definitely appreciate the input you've given us. The future seems bright, despite some of you not being in tune with mainstream media. It's definitely encouraging to see how you value matters to do with ethics, integrity. I've had it come time and time again. I won't mention matters to do with media law and whatnot, but it's good to see that we're upholding ile standia. You train a tree while it's still young. So you guys are getting the utmost training, and I can't wait to see what the future holds in terms of your input in the journalism space, or be it film, be it production. So it's really good to interact with you guys. Asanteni sana for your time. That is The People's Lens. Thank you so much for watching. That conversation marks the end of today's edition, but keep the conversation ongoing on social media. As you've heard, it's a disruptor, but equally it enhances dissemination of information. My name is Jesse Rogers. This is the Kenya Institute of Mass Communication. It's been a pleasure. See you next time.